How did Saturday's cancellation, I guess, alter your schedule for, maybe a week or so? Because even then you learned it, I think, to Wednesday.
Yeah, it changed a lot. Obviously, when you're playing basketball, you're always looking forward to the next game. And obviously we lost a home game, but I thought two things Saturday. We had a scrimmage in the morning. We scrimmaged our scout team, tried to make it as game-like as possible, and then the kids had a phenomenal event, We Will event at Sweet Caroline's, where the players went and watched the men's game. And so I think all things considered, it turned out really as good as it could. Obviously you want to play, but I thought our kids handled it really well, and we used Friday as a self-scout day, and then Saturday we tried to play a game and do it as game-like as we could, and Sunday off and right back at it again. So hopefully we're back into the rhythm that we had before.
How do you feel about where you're at after all that heading into tomorrow's game?
No, I think we're fine. We got some kids that are a little bit sick, but everyone at this time of year, we live in the Midwest, people get sick. But I think overall, if you said at the beginning, you're going to be 6-1, you take that for sure. Obviously, a monster week this week with two really tough road games, but and then after Saturday you're at the midway point. So I think overall we're in a good spot. I think we don't have anything major injury-wise. We're trying to be really, really, really smart because a lot of our kids, 7 of the 6 for sure, 7 of the 9 kids that are playing, they've never done this before at this level. So you got to be careful about how you practice and how you do things. So I think overall we're in a good spot and excited for what's still ahead.
How do you make sure it doesn't, I know you've always talked about, like, at some point everybody hits a wall, especially the freshmen. But it seems like you're in a precarious spot right now where you're playing important games, the conference is within reach. How do you balance making sure that hit that wall too hard and still winning?
It's hard. And I think, again, when they're all going through it for the first time, you got to. There's a lot of things in life. You got to live it. You got to experience it. We can talk about it. So for us, it's now we're back in school. So let's get into the rhythm of school. Let's our strength coach, Aaron, our strength coach, Tessa, our trainer, have done an amazing job of your nutrition and your sleep habits, and do everything you can to control what you can. And from a coaching standpoint, we have shortened practices, shorter than maybe ever. Trying to save our legs, maybe more video, more walkthrough. Because our kids, especially our freshmen, their bodies are telling them we should be about done, and they still have 6 weeks to go. So it's kind of trial by error a little bit, and but I do think at least now, or at least in the conference, it's Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. So at least they're getting Sundays off, and which is great that it's off. I mean, you can do you go to school, you can do whatever on Sunday. So so far so good.
How difficult a week do you anticipate this being, given you've talked about how you'd like to get sweeps, but given the caliber of teams Kansas and West Virginia are probably feeling like they circled after they lost here, they immediately circled.
No, I think it's probably if very similar to the week we had when we had West Virginia Baylor at home. I mean, you're playing two really good teams. I know Kansas' record isn't great, but we know how good they are and how good they can be. And desperate teams are hard to play. They've played a monster schedule early, and I think their schedule's starting to turn maybe a little more in their favor. Obviously, West Virginia only has 2 losses, top 25 team again, they don't want to get swept. We're the same way, and so we were fortunate to win the 2 home games. But what we've tried to do with our players is just talk about the Iowa State way we'll travel. How hard you play and how committed you are. And this group is, I'm really, really proud of how connected they are and how they show up every day. And you guys heard me say that a lot. I think showing up is a skill. and our kids have shown up every day, and hopefully now you just got to play well. And our kids are smart enough to know what's ahead, so we'll see what happens.
Being in this spot, near the top of the Big 12 at 6-1, can you see any extra energy kind of in practice and in your daily activities, knowing the opportunity you guys have in front of you?
I really don't, because I think it's a credit to the kids. I mean, our kids are really pretty even keeled. We talk about the consistency of our approach and how we do things, and again, boring everyone to tears about the next 40 minutes, and enjoying today. I mean, that's just the nature of it. So I don't think we're in that situation. I think, again, we're so focused on what's going to happen today, because again, we got a lot of people doing this for the first time, and when you have older teams, you probably think about that a little bit more, because you can kind of, all right, what's ahead? And I don't know that we have that kind of team. I think this group is more, what do we need to do today? And they've handled it phenomenally well, and I don't see that changing. So hopefully, we just play well enough to find a few more wins.
It's the success you've had, maybe putting X on your guys' back more now, because I know early in the season you talked about, like, we are young, nobody's going to feel sorry for us. Well, now it seems like nobody really is feeling sorry for us.
I don't think anyone's going to feel sorry for us. But again, I think this league, and we've talked about this a lot, about whatever sport it is, you have to show up on that night. And I coached when I was in the MAC and I was at Toledo. There were games, if the bus made it to the game, I knew we were going to win. I didn't even think about it. We don't live in that world here. And I think you just can look at scores, and people look at a score and go, oh, how did that happen? And it's just, that's the great part about this league, and the hard part is every single night you better show up. And our kids have shown up and competed every single night, and we've been fortunate. We've won 6 of the 7, so that's a credit to them.
Does that young group that you mentioned stays even keeled, does that ease your mind when you're down 8 to 10 points a little bit more than it might in the past? Or
no, I don't know if it eases my mind. They don't seem too worried about it. But, no, our young guys they're very, number one, they're very skilled. That helps. But they show up, they're connected, they understand, they want to be coached. They don't make excuses for what doesn't go right. And they want to get better, and I think they understand the level. Even though they're going through it for the first time, they understand how hard it is, and they haven't run away from it. Sometimes you have to embrace hard. A lot of people don't want to do that because it's hard. But our kids have embraced it and shown up every single day, and couldn't be more proud of where we are now. But obviously, 6 weeks to go, but it's fun to be in this position and fun to see what this group can do.
So having lost to Texas Tech and then that missed opportunity against TCU, do you feel like there's an opportunity to be more prepared for this upcoming Kansas game, or is it going to be more of like a missed opportunity type of thing?
I've never been big on the missed opportunity. I don't think you miss it. I think someone takes it. And yeah, I just feel bad that our kids didn't get to play Saturday. And when you don't play as well as you want to play one night, and then if you can come back the next game and see the ball go in the basket and have some success, we're not going to have that. And now we're going to play 4 out of 5 on the road, and there's a lot of different things to it. But this group just isn't that way. I mean, I wish I could analyze it and say, well, this is what's going to happen. But they've been, I think today's the 86th practice we've had, and I would say 84 of the 86. I'm not going to say we were good every day, but they showed up. And to me, that says a lot about them. And we'll show up Wednesday and hopefully play well enough to win. But there hasn't been any letdown at all, and I don't anticipate one. Thank you.